welcome back to another episode of Podward State. I'm Keeley. I'm here with Ally and Hailey. How are you guys?
I'm good, Keeley. How are you?
I'm good. Stutz?
Good. I'm good.
I'm good. This is one of our last pods. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But it's a good one.
But it's not the last one either.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for one more episode.
Yeah, we're going to be wearing the same outfits.
Crazy. Time travel. No, we have a good episode today. Keeley,
Yes.
why don't you tell us about it?
We talked with Jess Holtz Steinberg, a CAA agent, a 2007 Penn State Belisario grad, broadcast journalism. She was awesome. She is Devin Booker's NBA agent. So we had a super fun time talking to her about her career, like fun moments with Devin Booker and Karl-Anthony Towns and some other people. So she was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that us three hosted it too,
Yeah.
just like as women in sports. So
Yeah.
Yeah. She shared a lot of good advice. And
Yeah.
I think you guys will like it. So.
Yes. She was excited to talk to us, especially because I think we were excited to talk to her. So it was like a cool moment.
Yeah.
Shouted out Portman, our friend of the show.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got really excited when she said that.
Yeah.
Me and Keeley just saw Portman like
Yes.
20 minutes ago.
Yes.
So.
That rules.
Yeah.
Hi, Portman,
I was
if
just
you're
talking
listening.
about you guys to him the other day.
Oh,
Maybe you're one of the missing women.
Oh, well.
Wait, probably, actually.
Hey, Portman, if you're listening to this.
Anyways, let's get into the episode.
Yeah, let's do it. Joining us now, we have Jess Holtz. Jess is the co-head of basketball at CAA, and we are so excited to have you. Jess, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. We're so happy you're here and that you could take time out of your busy schedule today to join us. So we can just get rolling on some questions. And we want to kind of start back at the beginning of your journey. We know you're a 2007 broadcast journalism grad. So kind of walk us through how you chose Penn State.
And thank you again for having me. You're bringing me back to some great times, so I'm happy to chat about it. I chose Penn State because I kind of knew that I wanted to be a journalism major. I definitely knew I wanted to be a journalism major, I should say. I knew I wanted to go to a big school. I knew I wanted to go to a place. I went to a big high school, so I knew that I wanted to go to a big university too, with sports culture and big networks and be a big fish in a big pond if I could. And so I started visiting schools, and basically like Maryland, UNC, like those were the types of schools I was looking at. And given that I went to high school in Allentown, PA, a lot of people from our high school ended up going to Penn State. And so I was a little bit resistant at first because I thought to myself, like, that just feels so obvious. And, I had straight A's and I work really hard. And why am I doing the obvious thing? But I went to visit the school, and I did a full day tour, and I went to a football game, and I absolutely fell in love with the place. And I'm so glad I decided not to be stubborn and be resistant for resistance sake and just go with my gut. And I chose Penn State for the program, the communications program, for the culture, for the network. And I couldn't have been happier with the decision I've made ever since.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way coming from such a big school too. I feel like everybody from my high school comes here, and also my mom is from the Allentown area high school area as well, and she felt the same way that her whole graduating class went to Penn State, but she didn't. But I was just curious, obviously this place is just the best. Do you have any favorite memories that stand out to you from your time at Penn State, or maybe any favorite professors or experiences here, because we're also all in the communications school?
Well, I did meet my husband there. We just celebrated our 13th year wedding
Oh
anniversary.
my goodness.
Yeah, and we've been together over 20 years. So, and we have a 4-year-old daughter. So that's definitely up there as a favorite. I also just went away I just turned 40 in January, and me and 4 of our girlfriends that I met at Penn State went on a vacation together. We're all busy working moms, but it was really nice to take time and just reminisce about college. And one of our guy friends that we were close with at school actually FaceTimed us and said, we should have done a boys trip at the same time. So I say that to say that, those friendships that I made last forever. A separate girlfriend of mine, I was in ASA, which I don't know if ASA is on campus or not anymore,
Think
but
so?
I think so. But I was in ASA, and another one of my sorority sisters, I just met her when I was in New York for work last week. And so we created so many incredible memories together. And so having, those friendships that I think I read something on Instagram the other day that was like, once you're friends with somebody past 7 years as an adult, like they're your friend for life. And I've made those relationships that have, taken me through adulthood and my career and always been a support system for me. Um, I did, I was part, I went to the first whiteout ever. So,
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah, so that was incredible. I was kind of our first 2 years, I believe, we were not good. People weren't excited about the football program. And then, all of a sudden things took a turn, and there's a famous play where Tom Bahali sacked the Ohio State quarterback, and we won the whiteout game. So that was one of my favorite days ever, because it was a night game. All of our friends were there, and just the way we won and the pride I felt for the school was amazing. And then academically, I had a lot of great memories. I loved Mike Poorman's class.
That's our favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually still think when I consume news media for my job today, I know I took a lot out of it, and even though I'm an agent, I still work with journalists every day, and I
Mhm.
love like flexing my writing muscle, and I love when I can be the resident writing expert for our group. The other day we were all on a call, and everyone was like, is it the coach with a capital C or is it a lowercase c? And I was like, well, it depends. Are you addressing him as coach? And I just got so excited. And I know that those are things like everyone was like, wait, what? There are a couple people who know this about me, and a few guys on the call were like, where is this coming from? And I was like, oh, you didn't know this about me? I was a journalism major at Penn State. So just having that education and knowing it's a skill I have for life that it's not necessarily tasked of me so directly every day, but that I can utilize it to my advantage. And I love writing pitches and I love writing emails. And I know a lot of that came from the amazing writing skills that I developed at Penn State. So I
Yeah.
could go on and on about favorite memories, but that's like a preview where to start. But that's not even like top 10. I could go on and on.
And so once you got your start with Poorman, and he sets you up just for success, and the College of Com itself too. How did you land in the world of basketball, and was that sort of always your plan or a goal for you?
So I am the oldest of three girls. And so like in order to spend time with my dad growing up, we would just watch New York sports. I actually grew up before I was in high school in northern New Jersey. So big New York Metro sports fan, Jets, Knicks, Mets, Rangers. And so those are all my teams. I had a particular love for the New York Knicks. They were really, really good as I was growing up, and they made it to the finals when I was 9 years old. And so I always knew I wanted to work in sports, and I always skewed toward basketball. So I had a bunch of internships in the broadcast space. I realized I didn't want to be on camera after doing it. So I do thank Penn State for telling me what I didn't want to do. It's just as important as knowing what you do want to do, honestly. You have to evaluate every opportunity as like, okay, do I like this? Do I not like this? What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Like it's not so black and white in terms of like, this is the job I want to do. Like so many young people can come to me and say, I want to be an agent. Like, and I'm like, well, I wanted to be a reporter and now I'm an agent. And so I was always open to like a pivot. And once I realized there were things I love about journalism, but I didn't necessarily want to be on air talent, I was sort of super open to behind the camera opportunities. And so I had a connection. My aunt worked with her family friend who was an attorney at the NBA. And so in me constantly expressing my interest to anyone who would listen and working in sports, she made the connection for me. And so I got an internship there between my junior and senior year in college, and actually was studying abroad in Sevilla, um, which was actually another whole favorite memory of Penn State in itself. We went away, there was like seven of us Penn Staters in Sevilla. But I was studying abroad in Sevilla and I interviewed for that job and I was like, I need to get this job. I need to get this job more than anything. And so that internship sent me on a trajectory in the NBA, which, including then I've been in the NBA for 19 years. And I just loved it. I love how exciting the sport is. I love how visible the NBA players are as individuals versus other sports. And I thought the NBA was an amazing opportunity. And so that internship, I didn't focus on spending a summer in New York City and hanging out. I focused on working there every minute and getting every opportunity that they would let me. I worked my tail off. So when a job came open in the associate program, their entry level job, I was up against another former intern whose brother actually worked there. And I just went back to everybody I worked with and I said, can you vouch for me? Like, I really want this. And then they went to my first boss, who actually still works there, who is a mentor to me today, and just said, you got to hire this girl. She worked so hard and she is really committed to this. And so that's how I got my job at the associate program in the NBA league office in the player marketing group.
That's awesome. So how did some of that marketing experience then that you gained in that first role sort of help translate into your player agency roles and sort of representation as you moved into CAA?
So that job was functioning as a marketing arm for the league in terms of how it activates with current players and retired players, legends. So that is essentially how I got to know the agency side of the business. All the different departments in the NBA come to our group and say, okay, we need this person for this community appearance. We need this person for this PR opportunity. We need this person for this marketing deal. And so we would negotiate and bring those opportunities to all the agents. So I got to know all of the agencies that represented NBA players at the time. Plus, we would work directly with the retired players. So we would speak to them directly. And so that's how I got to learn the talent focused side of the business. And so after being there, and that opportunity was unbelievable. And I almost think of it as like another whole, I was there almost 5 years, like another whole education. I also got my master's in marketing while I was there. It is definitely not a prerequisite for what I do, but I felt like because I had such a communications heavy focused undergraduate degree and experience, I wanted a master's degree, an MBA in a more business focused opportunity so that I could be more well-rounded. Again, that was just, I love learning and I love education. And so I feel like it enriched me for sure, but it's not a must. And it's not for the faint of heart to go to school part-time 3 days a week and work full-time. And so I really took those 2.5 years I went to school to be just fully committed to myself and my work. So I did that, and then working at the MBA, I've thought it would be a good transition as a next more entrepreneurial step and individually focused on working with the talent to work at an agency. And so I had been speaking to both CAA and Excel Sports at the time, and Excel had presented me an opportunity that was a little bit more flexible with my secondary education and felt like a little bit more flexible for what I was looking for at the time. Plus, I thought, okay, it's a fun startup. I was the 14th employee there. I think there's, I don't know, 300 plus, hundreds of employees. And so that was a really great experience to work at a smaller, growing company, work with some amazing talent there, some great names in the game. But then after 2.5 years there, CA kind of came back around and presented me with an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. And that was like over a decade ago at this point, August 2014. And I just thought, this is a great stepping stone for me. It's the biggest talent agency in the world. It's not only sports, it's motion picture, it's television, it's music. We have departments for books, we have departments for digital, we have a marketing group, we have an investment bank, we have everything under the sun. And so in order for me to be the best agent I could be, I came over for the best resources possible. And so I've been here ever since. But to your question about marketing and being an agent, I had been marketing solely focused until 2020. And I say that to say that was my job to be marketing focused, but I've always been like a 360-degree representation model. I've always been super involved with every aspect of my client's life, not just staying in my lane, if you will, for marketing. So when Leon Rose left to go run the Knicks and be president of the Knicks in 2020, he and I worked together on a number of clients, but two of them, Devin Booker and Karl-Anthony Towns, it was just the two of us working on. So, we came to a fork in the road. What are we going to do next? You need an agent. And so we talked through the options and what worked best. And, one of the options was me get certified and become your on-court agent in addition to your off-court agent. And they both said, that's it. That's the plan. Let's do that. CAA would never push me into any role, which is what I love about CAA and specifically their approach with me is, they'll let you create your own path, as long as it's something that makes sense and it's something that drives revenue and it's something that adds to the business and it's something that adds value. They're very open with, what makes sense for you and what makes sense for your clients. And that's what's great about it. So I wouldn't have there was never you have to be their player agent. I think actually that was the hard choice. All things considered, I think it would, in most cases, I'm sure they would have just slotted in another player agent, but that wasn't going to be the story with me and Devin or me and Karl. That wasn't what worked best for them. And I feel like I was ready in that moment because I had not just focused on, doing that one job for them. I wanted to make sure I could make every facet of their lives easier on and off the court. And so it was very natural transition. So I've obviously I do marketing for Chris Paul, but I also represent those two on and off the court. And so I love that I can do both because our clients need both in their lives. And so I feel like I can look at their careers, lives 360 degrees and help them make decisions and make their lives easier across the board.
Can you explain really briefly the difference between your job as an on-court and an off-court agent? I don't think I fully understand that, or that was even a concept.
So there's, and by the way, some people do both, and some people are just, agent. And agent is such a broad term, and there's so many different types of personalities of agents and so many different relationships that agents have with their clients, and everybody has a different approach. Every agency has a different approach. Every individual within the agency has a different approach. So there's no one size fits all for like what an agent means, although there's generally like you negotiate contracts on behalf of your client. That's the bare minimum. But I became a certified player agent who could negotiate with the teams their on-court basketball contracts in 2021. So that is different from negotiating a Gatorade deal or a Nike deal or a Chevrolet deal. That's a different thing. So you don't need to be certified to negotiate a marketing deal. You need expertise and you need education and experience, but you don't need to become certified with the union. So I can do both of those types of deals. And a lot of on-court agents don't also negotiate marketing deals, and a lot of marketing agents don't also negotiate on-court deals. And so that's what makes me a little different.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Generally, can you just sort of walk us through a broad day in your life, in your role, since you entered player agency and you have just these amazing Supermax contracts? What is your day normally like? And I'm sure it's never the same.
No, it's never the same. But there are consistencies about it. You kind of have to be prepared at any moment for something to prioritize anything else you had that day. So a lot of times I'll have a whole day set. This is what I'm going to do then. And then something comes up that's time sensitive and then you're dealing with it. And so I spend a lot of the time on the phone. I spend a lot of the time talking to my clients. I spend a lot of time talking to brands. I spend a lot of time talking to teams. I travel a lot. It's playoffs now. So I'm headed to Detroit over the weekend to go see the Knicks play, to go see Karl play. So that's a normal weekend activity. I might be working. So, and trips are last minute and trips are opportunistic or they're planned in advance. And I know I need to be there. But I would say like I do everything from the scale of, writing up a pitch, getting on a Zoom call, hearing a pitch, giving a pitch, talking to my clients, problem solving an issue they have, and strategically, monitoring media, seeing what people are saying about them, seeing if there's anything to be concerned about, seeing if there's any conversations that need to be had. So I never really totally off. I try to make time. Obviously, my family is a huge priority. My daughter's a huge priority. But it's kind of I'm always prepared to have to deal with something at any moment.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sure it is constantly changing. So as the first woman to be able to represent to max salary NBA players, it's obviously a huge accomplishment of yours. But is that something that you think about a lot, that sort of drives you, or is it just kind of like it's another day on the job kind of moment for you?
I think about it like when you ladies ask me about it. I definitely am very aware of the perception of me as a woman in the room sometimes. And it's certainly something that we as women always have to navigate around in a room where I heard someone say once, it's not male dominated, because we can dominate too, but there are a lot of men in the room. And so um I definitely take a lot of responsibility on in that, I did something that now women can see themselves doing. And any way I can support women in that journey, if that's something they want to pursue, I do want to do that as much as possible. And I feel proud that I can be someone that, other women maybe see in themselves of something they want to do. However, I don't take on that, okay, I did this great thing. I broke this glass ceiling in terms of just, I also give a lot of flowers to my clients because I think a lot of young men, and they were a lot younger at this point, their mid-20s might have said, well, I need a certain image of what I think an agent should be. And they never thought that. They always were like, you're the person, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. And so a lot of times, men have to bring us along with them, and men have to, acknowledge that. And I give that responsibility to men too. So I don't take it all on, but I am happy that I can be somebody that can make other women feel empowered.
That is very inspiring. And I'm sure a lot of young women look up to you on that as well. But so you were the first agent to sign 2 Supermax deals on the same day, which is just crazy. Can you walk us through that day and just all of your emotions?
It didn't really hit me until the Woj bomb, if you will, the gravity of the moment. Those 2 guys had been working very, very hard to earn those deals. And so I'm beyond proud to be part of their journey and, help work with those teams to memorialize all of that hard work and achievement. The day itself was not unlike any other, and it was something, once those guys earned all NBA honors and were eligible for the Supermax, it was sort of something that, made sense. So it wasn't, sometimes deals are done in free agency and it's stressful and there's 4 deals on the table and it's what's going to happen. It wasn't that, it was an extension. But at the same time, it was making sure everything is buttoned up, and it's a lot of responsibility. Those 2 guys happened to be in the same draft class, played at the same college, are on the same trajectory, accomplished all NBA honors. And so it's amazing that they both accomplished that. It's amazing that it happened on the same day. But to be honest, like, I didn't understand what that meant until other people, it kind of was a way other people could understand my work a little bit better, because it was this tangible thing versus like the day in and day out grind that led to that point. Like the moments that are unseen, being an agent and what you just described sounds way more glamorous than it is. It's a lot of sacrifice, personal time. It's a lot of giving up family time. It's a lot of booking flights and doing things that maybe you're even like, I've been doing this too long, I don't want to do it, but you do it because it makes their life easier and it makes them happy and it's important to them. And so those like unseen hours to me, and those times when things are hard and I powered through, like that to me was more the moment that other people got to see in a tweet versus that actual moment or that day being something crazy.
Sort of in that vein of you discussing the day in and day out grind, and you are probably spending just an absurd amount of time with these guys. Do you have like a favorite or funny memory with Devin Booker, with Karl-Anthony Towns, or another NBA player that just really stands out as a crazy thing that only you would know or only experience because of your role?
Yeah, every day. All of my clients, Elena Deladon, Alicia Clark, Chris Paul, those two, I feel so lucky. I work with great human beings, not just good human beings, great human beings. And so I get to see, a personal side of them. They're all really funny. They're all really personable. They laugh at me, I laugh at them. It's being a human being is the most important part of this job. It's not necessarily like they're my clients, I'm their agent, but it's also we can talk about, you know, the human aspects of our job, the human aspects of our lives and our family. And so that's like literally every day I'm laughing with one or more or all of them about something.
That's so cool. Kind of going off of that human aspect of your lives. I know you have your husband and your daughter, but you live such a busy lifestyle with your job. So what do you kind of do to help yourself unwind and relax, especially after like a huge busy week at work?
Um, yeah, I love like Saturdays and Sundays. Usually we'll go on a family bike ride. We have two bikes and a trailer on one of the bikes. My daughter insists that I'm the one who drives her on the trailer and the bike. So a lot of times we'll pick a destination and go on a long bike ride. And I live in Paradise Valley, Arizona, and the weather's great right now before it gets too hot. And so it's really therapeutic to just be outside and get some sun and go on a long bike ride and not think about other things. And that's definitely something I love doing. And having a 4-year-old, you always are on the move. So we go to parks, we go to dance class. And so I feel like lucky that we can have fun on the weekend as a family, and it's an amazing unwinding distraction.
Starting to wrap up, we ask our guests the same two questions at the end of every single episode. So we'll hit you with number one. If you have any advice for women in sports, what would that be? And coming from you in your role in the industry, what's some encouragement or advice that you would give to women probably in college?
I would say that I think keeping your head down and focusing on the work and the attributes of the work and what you like about the work versus, I have to I have to do this one thing. Every time I've pivoted, I thought long and hard about it, but I wasn't, rigidly clinging to the idea of what I thought my career was supposed to be. I think young people get very impatient now. And I think that the patience is what paid off for me, and not, and knowing that if I work really hard and I do things the right way and I'm about the right things and I align myself with the right people, that's what's going to be what gets me to where I'm going. And that's what's going to be what leads me to success versus like, I have to be an agent. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be goal oriented, but if some twists and turns present themselves that are a really great opportunity, don't be closed-minded to it, and don't skip steps, because those steps are when you learn, and those steps are when you get the experience that make you ready for that position.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jess. We are so excited to have you on and appreciate all of your insight and advice and just hearing all about your story. So thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, no problem.
That was another episode of Podward State. We had so much fun talking with Jess Holtz, and it was really awesome. What did you guys think?
I thought she gave a lot of great advice for all of our current students, and especially the women looking to get into the sports field. I thought it was really inspiring to hear her.
Yeah, I thought it was a really great episode, and all of the advice that she gave was really good as well. Just talking about like being a woman in sports in general, but like so crazy that she signed 2 like Supermax deals or whatever. She's crazy.
Yeah. Not only the first woman to do that, but the first agent to do that in NBA history is just nuts. So that was really fun, and I was so excited to hear about that. And she was really cool and excited to share. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Especially during such a busy time of her life too. She took some time for us.
Yeah, during the NBA finals or playoffs, like she's just doing her thing.
Jess, we love you. Thanks for being a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
See ya.